Hello folks, my first video ever on the internet. I'm gonna start doing some reviews of books, mainly children's books. By the way, I'm Matt, if you didn't guess that. Today I'm doing a John Flannagan series, the BrotherBand Chronicles. And he's got 3 books out, The Outcast, The Invaders, and The Hunters. So, if you've read the Ranger's Apprentice series, you know about John Flannagan, obviously, and you know about I guarantee you know about the BrotherBand Chronicles. So, this is mainly a fantasy book. There aren't any. I would call it fantasy simply because they're set in a different world than ours. This is not Earth. It's an Earth-like place, but it's got its own locations and names and blah blah blah. Anyway, if you read the Ranger's Apprentice series, you understand what this is all about. These are based on Hal and his friends, basically. They're all a bunch of outcasts. These are they're Scandians. The Scandians are a... Can you get to the point any minute now? Scandinavian type of people, Vikings type of folks, who enjoy basically plundering and can you get to the point yet? Fighting and drinking, that kind of stuff. The good thing about these books is there's if you're a parent, there is some violence. There is violence. I don't know that there's any deaths in the first book. There's certainly going to be people dying. There's battles, but there's no graphic description of deaths or anything like that. It does not concentrate on that, and it's not war-centric of any sort. But there is no language. There's no sex. There is romance. There's people that fall in love and that kind of stuff. What? There's no what? Sex. There's no sex. Would you pay attention? But it's not geared towards young women or women, to be honest. It's geared more towards boys and young men. Basically, if you're between the age of 8 and 120, and a man, you're most likely going to enjoy these types of books. They're very easy reads. These books, again, this is our hero called Hal, and essentially, even though he's Scandian, he's only half Scandian because his mom is essentially like the equivalent of the British. So the Scandians are supposed to be tall, broad, huge people, while the British look like sort of like the British. They're not called the British, they're called the Orleans or whatever. Anyway, at any rate, so he's supposed to be the scrawny little guy of the bunch. However, he's supposed to be intelligent and very good at coming up with ideas, new ideas and inventions, and solving problems. In the first book, we encounter them, or him. He doesn't really have a lot of friends because, well, he's an outcast. So he ends up being put with the rest of the outcasts, whether it's because their social status, in other words, because, for example, one kid's dad was a thief, and you would think that in a Oh, sorry. Society where plundering and attacking villages and taking stuff, in other words, stealing, thieving would be just common, but they have their own code, and stealing from each other is just a bad mojo. Anywho, so we find him, Hal, and his friends, and they're basically like the the guys that never get picked for any team games or for anything, to be honest. But unlike reality or in real life, where perhaps kids that are not picked for teams, when they band together, they excel. They excel mainly because Hal becomes a leader, and they listen to him because they help out. Anyway, and it's not like he wants to be a leader. It just becomes a natural leader because of his ideas and how he acts, and he cares. So if you're a parent and you're reading this review and you're interested in getting a book for your son or your boy, these are great. You still in the review? Books, great series. John Flannagan actually does a great job with this series from the beginning. I mean, from the get-go, he grabs you and you can go on and you're invested in the character. Very enjoyable reads. Very easy reads. No complicated language. Nothing that might throw anybody off. There's no... I would call these fantasy books simply because these are not set in our world. It's a different world. But in terms of magic, there's no magic or any... didn't you already say this? I don't know what to call it. Mystical things happening. There's no, no wizards, no dragons, no witches, nothing of that sort. So, I think they're great reads, fun for pretty much anybody between the ages of 8 and 120, like I said already. For women, I think he's trying to bring a female character into this series that is a strong female, and he does have a little bit of that in the other ones in the Ranger's Apprentice series. And if you haven't heard of that one, I'm going to review that one next, just so you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, first book deals with them and basically taking these outcasts and showing them how they can shine. And then book 2 shows how because of a mistake that the outcasts made in book 1, they feel like they have to right the wrong, and so basically that's this book. And I would say these two books, The Invaders and The Hunters, are really one book and split into two. Normally, John Flannagan will tell you the story, and it has a beginning and an end, and he won't leave you with a hanging cliffhanger type deal, like in the TV series they do and stuff like that. Go check it out. I'm going to have some links below. Is it over? Thank you. To John Flanagan's page, but if you do a search Anywhere on the internet, you're going to find that his books are listed, and they're very well loved and very good series and very well written. All right. Till next time, and guys, see you along. And if you have any requests that you want, please post them in the comments below. Talk to you later. Bye.